development of a success mindset. This is the Waterstone Show with Josiah Davis, Episode 4. Adventure and entrepreneurship share a common root word. You set out down the Silk Road with your wares, across mountains, through deserts, unknown risks, unknown treasures, losses, victories. You cross an ocean with your goods. Will you have a shipwreck? Will you succeed? The adventure, the entrepreneur, seeking his unknown reward. Jean-Baptiste Say took this word in his economic treatise, and he defined entrepreneur as an individual acting upon lower yielding productivity and bringing it through the force of his action into a higher yielding space, a higher yielding productivity, more value, creation of value. And it was an upward push. The adventure of climbing the mountain, of pushing upward. This is the root of entrepreneur. I interview lots of winemakers. Today, I get the opportunity to sit with a man from Florence who does some wonderful Tuscan Chiantis. Yesterday, I was speaking with a Napa winemaker, a legendary Napa winemaker. These producers tell the story of the generations that cultivated the land. They tell the story of the way that the season unfolds, from the bud break to the ripening of the fruit, to the human intervention that brings forth the wine. And they tell stories of culture, of stewardship, of craftsmanship. And all of this story results in beautiful, excellent bottles of wine. A different story of a big brand producer coming in and chemically altering and fixing the color and the flavor with sugar and mega purple. It's a different story which results in a different product. Excellent story, excellent winemaking results in excellent wine. The story and the product are connected. The culture that is shared when my wife and I open a beautiful bottle of wine and celebrate a special moment in our lives, connecting to this whole history. The symposiums of Plato, where they would drink wine and share their ideas, was rooted first in a vineyard, was rooted first in a story. There is story which underlies the creation of quality, the creation of culture. There is story which is the foundation for adventure story, for entrepreneurship. When I was first creating my businesses, I had a young intern come from ASU, and he was working with me, and he was from ASU, and he said, "Can I see your business plan?" And so I said, "Well, I don't really have a formal business plan, but this is the story that I told to the bank. These are the ideas that I had. This is how I thought I would implement the business, and this is how I'm building it. This is my plan." He said, "Well, that's not a business plan." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, a business plan is X, Y, Z, this market study, this piece right here." And he lays it out. It needs to be X number of pages. I said, "Well, I hear what you're saying, but this is the plan that I had, that I brought to the bank, that got the funding. This is the path that I walked that created the business that you're now interning in. So I think that this is a business plan. It's just not maybe formal." And he pushed back. He's like, no, that's not a business plan. It's like, okay, I don't know what to tell you. It's the plan by which I built the business. I've always approached it in a common sense, create community, create quality, focus on the story way, method. And even though it may not be a structured, scientific approach, I think that story can be a template for success. So the adventure, the story, the development of meaning, the development of purpose, a whole heart conquers the mountain. The entrepreneur climbs the mountain. There is a connection between the foundation in our life, the vision that we have for who we want to become, the things that we build. And this connection can fill it with meaning and purpose, as well as strategic implementable ideas. When we have a dream, when we have an idea, how do we bring it to reality? That is the quest. T.S. Eliot says, between the conception and the creation, between the emotion and the response, lies the shadow. That implementation of the creative ideas inside of us is a shadowed journey. It is an unclear path. And despite the fact that you could clarify it with systematic thinking, which is valid, there is a culture that we can bring to it. So let me tell you my story. Song of Songs 4:8. The bridegroom says to the bride, look out or descend from the mount of Amanah, the mount of Shinir, the mount of Hermon, the den of lions, the den of leopards. In this simple verse, situated inside of a whole heart, a loving heart, questing at the end of the Song of Songs to be like the stag on the mountains, to have conquered the mountains. On this journey is this verse, and in this verse is the template, is the wisdom which informs the businesses that we create. And so we begin by the first ascent, the first climb, the first creation of value, faithful with the little in front of us. We don't yet have full vision for where we're going. You begin to steward and resource and apply yourself to create value. Whether it be you're young and the most you can do is make your bed, as is famously said, or whether you're further along and there's more that you're stewarding, we're faithful with that which is in front of us, we create value, we begin to ascend. This first mountain is the Mount of Amanah, the Mount of Truth and Integrity. So we ascend to this place of truth and integrity. And importantly, here, we recognize and are honest with ourselves. This doesn't involve others. This is the place where we realize our giftings, we realize our limitations, our strengths, our resources. There's an honesty, there's a hearing of God's voice. Truth begins to enter in. And the challenge, the primary challenge, is for it to become integrity. This is an entire mountain in and of itself, to begin to ascend to the place in the creation of value in entrepreneurship where truth becomes integrity. Is there something you can be excellent at? It doesn't make sense to go into a competitive market with something that is not, that you know nothing about and that you have no aptitude for. So what is something that you can be great? What is an edge that you can find? What is it that you do want to accomplish or create? This isn't restricted only to business. This is about meaning and purpose and the journey of success. And the first part is being honest with ourselves and discovering, again, on the foundation of hearing his voice, what we are created for, our identity. Importantly here, the truth must become integrity. When we have an idea, a business idea, a path that we're going to walk, as we're faithful with the little things and we organize and work and create value, we begin to see from a higher level. And as we get that vision of new truths, it has to be integrity for us. And so you develop a truth that has grown into integrity on Mount Amanah. We go from here to the second mountain, Shinir. Shinir means soft armor. When we have truth that has become integrity, what do we do with it? We share it with those we can trust. We don't bring it straight out into the world. If you go running straight out into the world with the truth, which is integrity for you, there is the possibility that we'll be torn apart. First, bring it to those that we trust. This is deeply practical advice. If you have a business idea, go to those who may know something about that and get the feedback. If you have a sense of spiritual calling in your life, a direction, go to those who you respect the maturity of their spiritual walk with God, of who they are in the faith. the elders, the elders in the church, so to speak, the people that you can go to for counsel. I have done this very intentionally in my life. Go to people and say, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm hearing. This is the direction that I feel called to go. What do you think? This is the place of counsel and strength. Gentle rebukes here are such blessings. Iron sharpening iron, these principles, the vulnerability that you bring, the authenticity that you bring is the softness, but when it's brought into a space of those who are genuinely trustworthy, becomes the armor. Armored with counsel, armored with refinement, and now the truth has matured into integrity and has benefited from the strength and the counsel and is surrounded by the agreement of your soft armor, of your trusted friends. You still haven't brought it into the world, but the next thing to begin to bring into the world is the Mount Hermon, the Mount of Destruction. Hermon means destruction. And the first thing that has to happen when we have an idea that we have tested with friends, we still have to come to the place of decision. Every decision is destructive. It collapses and crushes all the other opportunities. It's the nature of decision. And when we bring forth a truth into the world, when we bring forth a business, an idea, our work into the world, if it's creative, it's going to have a destructive element. It will change who we are, who we were. It will change the world around us. We will grow. We will transform. If it's a powerful idea, it will destroy the lies and the deceptions in the world. The truth will destroy the lie. The light will overcome the darkness. So when we bring something that is integrity, that is tested by counsel into the world, it brings destruction. This journey is a mature truth. The idea is a mature idea. It's ready to be implemented. You have known that it's integrity. You have the counsel of friends. You have made the decision, the costly decision, to bring it forth at the cost to you, the other opportunities, to others, to the way things were before you brought the idea out. You've counted the cost. It's ready to be implemented. That process to get there, be warned, there are lions, there are leopards in these mountains. It is not a safe journey. There's always risk. There's the risk, myriad risks, as well as enemies, bad actors, bad ideas, fears that will try to come at us and destroy us. So this Song of Songs 4:8, this little verse is this journey into the mountains. It's a template for judging, for bringing forth an idea, a business into the world. This is the business plan which has birthed venture. In fact, when you go to Local Lion and look, you'll see a mountain lion set among the mountains. Song of Songs 4:8 is in the marketing. It's in the conquer your mountain idea is also the wisdom. What is the bottom line of the work of our coffee moments? You sit, you have a cup of coffee. You enjoy a beautiful moment where you reflect and you have an idea. You have a conversation with a friend. This is the space, the coffee shop is the space for developing. It is the space for these mountains, the space for the solitary contemplation, the space for the authentic soft armor, the space where you get the coffee and you make the decision, let's go, let's conquer our mountain. Let's bring the destruction, let's bring the creativity forth into the world. And yes, there is a lion. Yes, it is not safe. The bridegroom, though, says to the bride, look out or descend from these mountains. In this quest, as we climb up and as we get vision, now our vision is mature. All of that story is the maturing of a vision for where you can go. Until we respond to the call to descend, all those mountains sit in Lebanon. The bride in the story, her promised land, is in Canaan land. And so she's called to descend from the mountains into her promise. When we have an idea which has become mature and decided and ready to go, the journey now is the descent. And it often feels like a descent. When we fall in love, it's romantic, it's beautiful, desire is awakened, she is amazing, he is amazing, and then what comes? The commitment, the years, the implementation of the marriage is where the promise is. It's where the beauty is in the day in, the day out, the doldrums. When you have a great business idea, however powerful, what makes it come into life is the implementation. It's the showing up to work 60, 80 hours. It's the getting up early. It's the working the weekends. It's the doing the hard job that nobody wants to do, dealing with the bureaucracy that is against you. It is all the challenges that you have to walk through. It is the descent from, I've got this great idea, it's going to be so amazing, into the day in, day out hard work of the journey. That is the descent, and that is into the promise. The way that we enter into the promise is we set out being faithful with that which is in front of us, and we rise up and get a vision, and with that vision, we then respond and enter into our promise through the process of descending from the mountain. The mountain is not conquered until we descend from the mountain. Mountaintops, high mountaintops, are not places we stay. They are difficult places. We live down below. But we go up for the vision. Song of Songs 4:8 that I've shared with you is the deep idea that is the path that I'm endeavoring to be upon. It is the business plan. When we considered venture, we went through a journey of truth and integrity, my wife and I. Then we shared it, we got counsel. Then we made the decision, the destructive decision, to come in and tear out the basement, to excavate and to begin a process, first of destruction, so that we could create. And now, in the day in, the day out, implementation, the business is coming to life. This is the idea that was formed in the coffee moments of Local Lion. So this is the story. I guess the whole thing maybe is the commercial. Come into our spaces, please. Enjoy our product. But more than that, come into agreement with us for wisdom moments with your coffee. How wild is all that? That a poem, a small verse, an idea, an adventure story could be a business plan. And yet the big ideas, our eschatology, our vision for where we're going, who we believe we are, the dreams that we have in us come forward according to wisdom. And when we turn our ear, we discover that God is the one. When we listen and obey to God's voice, Shema, when you make that your foundation, the invitation to discover that we are the story. We are the story God is writing. There's an enchantment to life that would fill up a meal and be the difference between a meal with friends, with beautiful wine, with a beautiful story, and the fuel that you get from a fast food moment so that you can just push forward. That the storyline is true, and it's practical, and because God is, He has created us to be His story. We are not just an evolved monkey who needs fuel to go forward into the nihilistic nothingness. We are created in God's image and called to create wonderful things in the world. That is the adventure that I want to share with you. The invitation to resolve the anxiety over where are we going, how are we going to make it, who are we, the identity crisis. These things can resolve in the hearing of God's voice, the loving Him who loved us, and the rising to the occasion, the pressing in to the disciplines of the ascent up the mountain. So, wherever you are in your journey, I encourage you to begin to think about how you can apply yourself, steward your resource in such a way that is integrity, in such a way that is authenticity you can share with others, and make decisions, make mature decisions that are creative to the point of destruction. So I want to encourage you, as you implement wisdom and wisdom narrative in your own life, wherever you go, whatever mountains you conquer, as you implement, don't forget the descent, the beautiful descent. Look out from or descend into your promise. The day in, the day out, cultivation of faithfulness with that which is integrity, has counsel, and is destructive in the force of its decision, the decisions you're really willing to make, that those things in your life are worth cultivating faithfully. Oh, looks like the camera went out. So in closing, the story of reaching success, your achievement, is an enchanted journey. Don't settle for a mindset of quick, go make some money, get some fast food, push on, when there is adventure and story and meaning where you can grow and build and press into discovery. Life is a beautiful adventure.